I like both you and Train. And I can see the better in everybody. And I wondered, what if you guys sat down and just talked about the main viewpoints and problems, and you had a better understanding of each other? So that
No, I'm down.
I spoke with both you guys on and off stream about this.
Yes.
And I have a good scope of it. And if you don't want to talk about certain things, you don't have to. Okay? Which is fine. So I think you guys have arguments that you have that are impossible to diffuse because they're ideologies, right? But
well,
I don't think so. I don't think it's like an ideological difference, or maybe it is. I don't know. I actually don't know. I want to hear from Train about what the issue has been.
So let's start from the beginning, like, right? Should we start from the beginning of?
Sure.
I mean, see, like, here's a good question to see what we're to see what we can so we can figure out what to choose to talk about, right? What is the goal for this call? If we can come up with a goal for this call, then we can decide what to talk about.
I mean, I'm freestyling. I have, I don't have like any opinion on this. So XQC might have a better.
I don't want to cut you off again. The goal is that you guys stop subtweeting each other and subclipping all the time.
I don't even subtweet Train, to be honest.
Yes, you guys do though. Yes, you do.
Like what? When have I subtweeted? Like when I talk about Train, I talk about Train in like very specific ways. I think a lot of people say I'm subtweeting other people, but like I don't know. I legitimately don't know. So if you have an example, this is not a debate. If you have an example, that would be helpful for me to understand what you mean, and then maybe I can clarify.
Okay. Things like whenever, one issue that I've seen in the past, right, is Train will bring up you, right, and then he'll bring up Pokey or whatever, and then you'll watch the clip, and it'll be like, oh, yo, he's like schizoing or whatever, and then some of the stuff around the gambling, some stuff. Wait, hold up, I'm not even bringing it back up.
Okay.
Some stuff around like his like charity stuff or whatever, and then your editors come in the middle, and these things are like they're like never ending. And then
my editor is an independent person, though. You guys understand that, right? Like he says whatever the fuck. No, there's not a cop out. If that wasn't a cop out, he wouldn't be ass blasting me more frequently than you. He's canceled me more times than he's canceled you. Let's be fucking real.
But that's completely different, right?
Like if you think that if you want me to control him and if you want me to like tell him not to do these sorts of things, I have no control over him. He doesn't just work for me. He works for a bunch of other content creators. I'm not saying this is a cop out. I can barely fucking control him, quote unquote, which I'm not in the business of doing that to people that I work with anyway. But if I can barely control him to stop fucking blasting my face on the timeline, claiming that I take private jets to fucking Coachella and wear Gucci shirts, which is a meme that he created, and then that meme literally subsequently got me fucking canceled. And numerous other. He made an entire video about how many times he canceled me in 2022. So you guys can go watch that.
But that's completely different, right? The intentions are completely different there. But at the end of the day, right? There's a lot. I mean, listen, if my number one, which is like my head mod or head editor, was spewing dog shit, right, and derailing shit and just spewing absolute dog shit out of his mouth, right, and attacking other streamers and derailing their programs, I would be like, yo, bro, like, the fuck are you doing, right? With this idea that you can't control him, sure, but if you're going to do business with him and he's going to be your number one guy, I do think there should be a certain talk you have with the dude that he's representing you, because that's a fact. I mean, if you're going to push with the other streamers that people like XQC and others need to, moderate their chat from going into other chats, you're telling me that your number one, the one that you're talking to the closest doing your content and arguably is your number one, you have no control over. So how the fuck do you expect others to have control over people that they have no connection with, right?
Yeah. So like I said, there's two different things here. One, as far as like moderating or regulating your communities, you bring up a really good point. There are certain instances, for example, whenever people will say things about Felix, especially, that I disagree with vehemently. Like people will be like, "Oh, he's like toxic. Remember when he got fucking banned from playing Overwatch or whatever. And I routinely tell those people that is unjustifiable and that is wrong. That they shouldn't actually fucking hold someone to their positions that they no longer hold many years ago just to fucking cancel them. Okay? Like it's ridiculous, it's stupid. It's been like fucking almost a decade. That sort of thing I take issue with. So I do regulate my community, right? And if you think that something is like incorrect or improper that's like going on in your chat, you could do the very same thing as well. As far as like gambling goes, I don't disagree with Ostenox in general, regardless, but I will never be able to control him. I am not in the business of like controlling what my editors say or do. Like that's a whole ass independent human. If he has his own perspective, then yeah, he can address it freely. Like I have no editorial control over him.
Okay, let me push this argument. Do you think that it's a healthy thing to have an editor that is like his own social media person, right? And let him tweet things that are going to look like done on your behalf, even though they're damaging to your views and your goals?
I mean, he already does do that regularly as a meme half the time when it goes awry, but like I said, it doesn't matter because he is his own person. I don't want to subject him to any sort of editorial control.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's difficult to hold the argument that I'm not trying to go against you. I'm just trying to go on with the flow of the combo. I think it's a difficult argument to push to say that you want people to moderate their chats. You want people to like, oh, the chats are the reflection of their streamer, so I'm going to moderate this. When you have your editor going wild on certain topics, like Train's chair did have noticed in the past, and kind of like shitting on for that. So there's one thing that I noticed about his like charity thing, where Ostenox kind of went crazy on it, and there's kind of like nothing done, because I thought that was pretty underhanded and kind of weird.
That was completely disingenuous. In my opinion, if there was any sort of consistency, I'll get to it. If there was any sort of consistency in the ideals that you preach and the ideals that he supports, that charity should be separate. That charity is a system that you would think you and even people that do not like me would support. It's not my charity. It's a system created to
wait. Hold on. I'm lost. What are you guys talking about? I'm confused.
So when I announced the mental health,
you originally were talking about like Ostenox doing the gamble video, right? Like that.
We're talking the derailment. We're talking the derailment of the mental health care program, right? All the slander, the pumping of disinformation onto Twitter and onto Reddit and onto or within your community on Twitch. Like these are the things that I think slowly began to put a fissure between you and I, or put a what's the right word for a wedge between us, right? It's these kind of things. The mental health care program, regardless of your opinion of me or what I do or how I operate my business, that mental health care program is a program in which its primary goal and purpose is to provide access to mental health care for people who otherwise have no access to it financially, right? And it's paid for by the rich, right? Each community streamer puts in, let's say, 100 to 500K or less, however much they want. And that provides access to healthcare that America's backward system, isn't providing to these people. So that the derailment of that to try and use, I'm a gambler and this and that, he shouldn't be, like, that is a ridiculous system. And let me go one step further. If not me creating it, shouldn't the real question be, why haven't you guys created this system? If you're gonna like bash me for creating it, hey, at least step up and do it better. Step up and do it in the first place. So it's really, for me, that wedge kind of created when I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make something, which, by the way, the gambling arguments were very disingenuous, because this mental health care program started in 2016, before I even touched gambling on stream. So this idea that was spread around that I did this after gambling to fix my public image is also bullshit. This has been going on since 2016. I've made it clear. Yet, right, these people still are allowed to go on your behalf, or what looks like to be your behalf, and spread this disinformation within the community, which leads to attacks and narratives that literally railroad the program itself across Twitch. Like, that's an issue. Like, these are the things that create the wedges between you and I that maybe you're not aware of. But this is kind of, what's happening, at least in that regard.
You're upset that Austin said that you set up your charity to whitewash your reputation after people were criticizing you for gambling. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? Like,
No, I'm upset that the community.
Did Austin say that? Because listen, as far as your gambling on Twitch, I mean, as far as Twitch gambling in general, I had a big problem with that. I talked about it very openly for many, many years. I talked about it personally with XQC as well, like privately even. And that's from the jump. I had an issue with that. As far as your own personal charity initiative that you set up, no, it's admirable regardless of what people's personal intentions may be. I don't know what your personal reasoning for why you put that out there. It's great though. I have a that's wonderful that you did that. As far as like XQC pulling out that video, I am like I said.
What video?
Because I'm watching XQC as well. He's like pulling up the AustinOx tweet.
Well, I'm just showing people the reference because I think it's important. People don't know.
Can you send it in the group chat so I can also pull it up as well?
I just thought, yeah. Listen. I mean this to the bottom of my heart, okay? Yeah, I don't want to make people think, oh, this is a 2v1 against. There's no sides here. Okay, there just isn't. Okay, this something I saw when it happened, and I took notes of it. We're talking about this first, so this it just kind of looks like a 2v1. Hold on. I can't hear you. Oh, now I can. My Discord is dog shit. It goes in and out every now and then.
Fuck.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah. It's just that I think AustinOx goes like over the rails about certain things, right? In a way that if it went against what you actually believe in, you would probably, I think, correct him. It's that sometimes
for sure
causes a ruckus, but since you're kind of on the same page as him, then you let him get away with it, which I think is a decently unhealthy interaction, which ends up making Train feel like you're pushing his views and then you're kind of approving of his actions.
Okay. So this ultimately will always go back to the gambling debate and the gambling conversation. I don't know if you guys want to have that conversation again, but
we'll have it later because it's a bit heavy.
Yeah, we can.
Well, because the reality is that, like, gambling addiction is very suicidal. It's not good, right? So I think what AustinOx is stating here is that on the one hand, you are contributing to this by promoting it, while simultaneously you're doing a good thing, but you're still contributing to the problem to begin with. And a big part of the funding vehicle still revolves around the money that you're getting from
once again
sponsors.
So two things. Let me interrupt real quick. I apologize, but let me interrupt.
By the way, personally, I don't think I ever talked about this on stream, but I mean, I understand what his sentiment is here. It's not something that I would turn around and correct.
This sentiment is a false comparison, though. It's a disingenuous it's completely disingenuous, right? Because the mental health care program isn't a program in which I created to sit here and say, hey guys, don't do this on stream, don't do this, don't behave in this way. It's not me governing the way everyone behaves on the internet. It's a system that is providing access to healthcare. To compare it and say, oh, Train does things on stream that may cause mental health issues for some, and to say he cannot create a system, right? These are two things that aren't comparable whatsoever. I've created a system that provides access to mental health care for people who do not have that access because they don't have the financial means to. I believe mental health care.
No, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing. I don't disagree. I think that is a great thing. Setting up a charity like that is actually a wonderful thing. I think you partnered up with Rad, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I have no issue with that. That's great. I think that objectively, that's a good thing. Regardless, I don't know what your original intention was. If you say that you started in 2016, that's wonderful. Okay.
My core community, yep.
Ultimately, I think what I would compare this to, if I were to make a comparison, if I were to understand this through an analogy, I would say, and this is not as damaging, and you're not directly doing as much damage, but are you familiar with Purdue Pharmaceuticals?
Are we really doing this?
I thought you would make a parallel with a Bezos with his homeless a donation, even though that they lobby against.
No. I mean that could work too. This is a more direct one. If you were let's say a streamer that was if you were, let's say, a marketer that worked with Purdue Pharmaceuticals, you got paid by Purdue Pharmaceuticals a fat bag. And then after that, you took some of that and then set up a Suboxone clinic that is also still ultimately created by Purdue Pharmaceuticals as well. The methadone or the intermediary drug that people use to get off of heroin originally is also created by Purdue. So they set up a problem and then they set up a solution to said problem as well. They double on the profit along the way. You're not doing that. I'm not saying that you're doing that at all, okay? Because you're not Purdue Chemical here. You're not Purdue Pharmaceuticals here. You are, however, like taking some of the money that you got from gambling and putting it back into that. I don't know if you want me to like undermine Ostenox's point, but I'm pretty sure that's the point that he's making ultimately, is that like you are contributing to the problem by spreading further gambling addiction and then simultaneously helping some of the people recover. Now, ultimately, it's larger than that. Addiction is a much larger lifelong problem, and that I do think that it's a good thing, and there will be people that will be benefiting from you facilitating their mental health treatment. So I think that it's ultimately a good thing, and I applaud you for doing it.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, this is the feelings that I'm getting through talking to both of you guys. That's kind of like the vapors that I'm getting from all this.
Yeah.
Is that since Ostenox is rambling about it like that in a negative light, that goes directly to undermine, make the programs look bad, look worse, make train look like a hypocrite or stupid. When he does this, and you lay finally the radar, it makes train feel, from what I feel in the past, that you approve of it, and that you're kind of like almost like green lighting the whole thing, and it creates a wedge between you two, because then he sees you as Hasan Ostenox's whole vibe, right? Because if Ostenox said something you didn't agree with him, you probably correct him. So since you don't correct him, he feels like you agree with him. That's how he feels.
Again, but I don't agree with one. I have, once again, I'm going to repeat myself here. I have no control over Ostenox, and you're asking me to check him on behalf of yourself in this situation. If it was something that was like for example, if Ostenox like tried to implicate you in the cover up of a sexual assault or something like that, and I knew for a fact that you had nothing to do with that, I would immediately hit up Ostenox and be like, that's not something you should do. I think that is unacceptable. I don't think that you agree with this. Or even if he did agree with it, I would ask him why, and I would probably try to correct the record. Okay? That's one thing I would do in that circumstance, because I think it's not because he's associated with me, by the way. I don't care about that, because I do think that he is his independent person, but because I treat him with dignity and respect. I think he's a peer and a very talented one, and I think that he would be doing something wrong in that situation. That's what I would do in that circumstance. In this one, as far as the possible negative implications of him associating you with someone who is promoting gambling and therefore creating more gambling addiction, therefore creating more people that might need mental health treatment, I don't disagree with the main point that he's putting out there.
That is such a disingenuous representation of, like, it's completely disingenuous. Listen, I enjoy gambling, and I gamble, right? I've done it since the beginning. In every video game I could. I've done it since I've started streaming, right? So if I'm gambling, okay, and I'm putting the precautions out there, to draw this conclusion that I'm the problem is with what you're saying, it sounds like I'm intentionally creating this, then creating a system as a result to my guilt of creating that.
I don't think you intentionally.
But that's the way it's presented. You understand? Like, it's presented as if I've disingenuously grabbed the bag. I don't like gambling. I go live. The effect of it is this. I feel guilty now that I'm rich. I've created a program to cover my, like, that's the way it's presented. And that is completely disingenuous. And it's leaving out a lot of the facts. It's leaving out the truth to push certain narratives, right? And that's the issue, right? That's the problem. My responsibility as a streamer is to not deceive viewers and trick them into starting something based off of a false reality, right? So if I enjoy gambling, I believe I can gamble. If you enjoy drinking, right? you can drink. If you enjoy smoking a cigarette, you can smoke a cigarette. Obviously, give the precautions, give this and that. To mix,
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different when you're getting paid by, you know, Marlboro, though, right? Like, and you know, you're doing the equivalent of like
I don't think so.
Facing an entire pack, but
if Marlboro, no, because listen, if I gamble like this off stream and gamble on stream, right, and I'm being paid for, my contract is only exclusivity. It's if you gamble, use this site. That's my contract. I don't have affiliate codes. I don't have to hit a certain number of hours. I mean, the last 3-4 months, right? I got paid the same, yet I streamed for what, 1/4, 1/5 the time. My contract is exclusivity and pure exclusivity. That's all it is. So it's like Marlboro saying, hey, if you're going to smoke a cigarette on stream like you already are, just smoke our brand, right? That's the difference.
Yeah, look, we've debated this subject into the ground. I feel like it's not good content at this point. I mean,
this isn't about content.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think that there's a part of gambling that you guys are forgetting to that people are kind of like letting go of, right? Some of the semantics are pretty important around it. I think we could have a small new discussion about the importance of the semantics, because sometimes we get caught up. Okay, let's just move on from that. We can put gambling later, because this thing, I'm telling you right now, this will devolve like crazy. Okay.
Well, no. Let's finish the gambling topic, right?
What is the whole thing?
Yeah, let's finish the gambling talk, and then we can move to, you know, socialism, and from there we can move to whatever the fuck else, right? Like,
okay,
sure.
So let me ask you this, okay? So if these are your views on gambling, right? Where's the consistency in them, right? You and others spent so long, right, coming at me, right, and talking about the gambling that I do, when there's actual predatory, shady shit going on, whether it's affiliate codes, whether it's only showing wins, whether it's sports betting, which, by the way, I don't know if you've looked up the statistics on that. Sports betting is most prevalent in underage. It's the most underage for underage gambling. It is the most done thing for underage children, right? Sports betting, right? The very platform you stream on has a deal with sports betting. Sports betting ads are played everywhere, right? Your friends have sports betting deals.
I am absolutely in agreement with you on that as well.
Where's the outrage, though?
Well, I have actually routinely and consistently covered not only sports betting being awful across the board and really damaging across the board, for Twitch, which of course they, after shutting down Stake, still continued to announce their partnership with other websites and other platforms where you can engage in sports betting. I've also talked about the larger consequences of sports betting becoming more normalized in professional sports, in the NFL, the league being literally sponsored by DraftKings and whatnot. And I do think that has really damaging implications. This is something that I have consistently talked about. I've even brought it up in videos where I've talked about stake and gambling as well. So, like I said, in a lot of instances, I think Felix is right. People like to see, people will see like a clip, get upset about that clip, and not really look at everything that I'm stating, everything that I've talked about, and immediately rush to find something that like maybe shows hypocrisy or whatever in their mind. But it's oftentimes it's oftentimes just a clip that was clip chimped and not the main point. This is something that I think is wrong. So I agree with you. If you want to join that support, I mean, I've talked about it. Like, I've literally pushed against legislation that would legalize it as well. So even in the state of California. So this is something that I have been very consistent on.
Okay,
there's a video of it if you want to watch as well.
I feel like not only you're involved.
Now that I know,
other people, I feel like in general, people have been very adamant about advocating against a certain thing. And say, oh yeah, but we're against the rest. But whenever the first thing kind of went out, right? Everybody started not caring. Like nobody cared. I feel like there needs to be.
Okay, but you're talking to someone who does care, and regardless of whether or not I'm like still consistently pushing for it, which I am, but even if I wasn't here, by the way, if you want to see my thoughts on sports betting in general, I just linked to a video in the Discord that is just purely about sports betting, by the way, unrelated to you or unrelated to crypto gambling in general, but just purely my takes on that.
Don't you feel like there's a disingenuous line of how much time spent on one versus the other, like briefly mentioning it in a video or talking about it,
No. This is well, that's a 20-minute snapshot of one of the many instances where I've talked about it.
You and your friends spent like a year and a half pushing for the banning of gambling and then moved the goalpost once Twitch came out and said they were going to selectively ban gambling, right? It is everywhere on the platform. Twitch itself has a deal. Amazon has a deal.
I agree. I think it's bullshit
everywhere. So like,
I
where's
agree.
the same outrage? Where's the same boycotting and threatening of boycotting of the major ad months? Like where was this? It stopped when I couldn't gamble on stream. It stopped when I couldn't. As soon as that went away, right?
If anything, I think
quiet.
that I think Stake getting hammered basically cut the directory by a lot. I don't know the exact numbers, but obviously if there is like one bad thing, right?
Yes.
And then there's another bad thing as well on top of that. If you're able to just make do with whatever you can, with wherever you can exercise any kind of collective action, it's good, right? The existence of other bad things does not negate the existence of one bad thing, which is what I think a lot of people did. They understand their powerlessness in the face of large corporations that are constantly profit-seeking. So they took a dub and they moved on. It wasn't a personal slight against you, but more so that people, I assume others, saw something happening in their own environment, in their own platform, did not like it, and tried to put an end to it. And they put an end to at least some of it. There's always compromise, and I think this was basically the compromise. I think Twitch knowingly, put Stake up at the stake and executed it in an effort to continue doing gambling, but by other means.
I think my point to all of this is I would just like to see some consistency, because it feels like the topics that you or others are passionate about come down to like streamer politics and streamer narratives. Like that's all. Like if you push for anti-gambling, if you push for this, I just want to see consistency among all of it, right? Whether it's sports betting,
like
whether
slots,
it be poker. Well, listen, poker is, I think, a major, like right now, I believe all the poker, listen, I don't believe poker, sports betting, or slots or blackjack should be banned, right? I think it's fine. I think.
Wait, can I just show something really quickly? By the way, it seems like slots took a massive nosedive, going from like average concurrent viewers being consistently in the 40Ks to basically just like less than half. It's growing again, but well,
there's
10K,
two sections.
9K.
Well, there's two sections for it now, right? So what you want to look at is the slot section and now the virtual casino section. So now there's two sections that are massive, and it's still being ran by, and primarily unlicensed casinos in the U.S., which I would argue the licensing argument is a little disingenuous, considering the fact the only difference there is whether the U.S. government has their hand in the pot or not, which is another thing, right? Yeah, which is another thing. The goalpost gets moved in regards to that topic, right? On one hand, the U.S. government doesn't, right, whether it's what you preach or others, the U.S. government can't be trusted to look out for, the people's best interests. But then when it comes to gambling, suddenly the U.S. government is credible, right? It has to be U.S. licensed, and then it's okay. Like, it makes no sense. I just want consistency throughout everything, through and through. And a good example of this is for the poker stuff, right? The excuses being made for the poker stuff is very disingenuous. This idea that poker is a game of skill, sure, at the 0.001% professional levels, yeah, I'd agree with that. It minimizes the gambling going on. But the 99% are playing it just like any other fucking table game, blackjack or whatever the case might be. So
you're talking to someone who not that long ago turned down an offer of $500,000 to play poker on stream. So I'm probably not the best person to be asking or talking about these sorts of things. And the reason for why I did that is because, well, one, while I do think that poker at least has some level of skill, it is not as easily accessible.
At the top levels.
I still personally, but it doesn't matter.
It does matter because the 99%
I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play. So I don't know how to fucking play poker. I literally cannot watch someone playing poker and be like, all right, I'm going to do the same thing. There is definitely a level. There's definitely an additional layer there, but I don't know why we're debating on like the minutia and the difference
because there should be
in different kinds of skill.
Like,
I understand that, Train, but I already said that the other bad things happening, right, does not negate or take away from the fact that like one bad thing was eliminated from the platform.
Yeah, but one bad thing was eliminated because you and other streamers decided to make a very big deal about it. And when that one bad thing got eliminated, you went quiet. Why not continue your crusade? Why not continue with the same passion and motivations? This is my issue. It feels targeted.
I do advocate for a lot of things, including Twitch's
then,
gambling.
Let me bring up the point then. I think it's Train is like missing a piece that's kind of important, right? Seems like Train is here, Hasan is there. Then the gambling happens, and then obviously you and other people are like crusading against Train and gambling, which is fair enough since the cause.
And at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break.
Somebody who's also close to you that you.
And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe.
There's a big poker tournament, right? A massively sponsored.
Don't gamble on the top of the hour ad break.
Ninja, whatever, right? Which is promoting gambling. It was in the casino. They're just pure gambling, right? And there isn't the same sort of outrage / comments / crusade against that behavior, and it's not by doing it, which is somebody who's close to you. So why do we not see the same sort of action?
I think powerlessness. Some people might. Okay, I can't speak for everyone else, but I can say from my own perspective. Some people feel powerless in the face of a multi-billion-dollar industry that is making a permanent space for themselves by pushing legislators to ease restrictions and regulations, whether it be DraftKings or numerous other ways to gamble. And I think that is seen as like an impossible thing to combat. So people have just basically taken the dub and just moved on because they don't even want to think about it. This happens very frequently. They see it as like a compromise, probably. And they're like, all right, well, this is a battle that we can pick and choose. This is one aspect of it, and this is one aspect of it that they see as like a minor W in the grand scheme of things, and that's probably why they've moved on, I assume.
Well, it seems a little convenient, right? Like others do it, no one says anything. Yet when I was doing it, years and years of pushing, right, all the streamers banding together, and then I mean, look at this, TwitchCon was announced to be in Vegas, and everyone's silent. Not even that is enough to stir up shit. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Well,
like,
there are a lot of convention centers. I think that's probably the reason why they did it there. No. But I look, but for the record, you're trying to make me argue other people's perspectives, and I can't do that because I don't know. I don't want to do that.
I'm not trying to argue other people's perspectives. All I'm asking is a consistency. This idea that when it was around me, right, and this isn't just the individual, one-off where it's only happened with me for gambling. And
also, I love gambling, right? Like, I literally took Felix to a fucking casino when he was in Vegas. I don't have a problem with gambling. I like gambling personally. Okay. There's a difference between what I like to do versus what I do on fucking camera. And what I see as like promotional and what I get paid to do. Like I have gambled. I have a fucking gold, like, what am I? I think I'm a gold level at the M group. Okay. I go to Aria. Like that's the hotel I go to. Did you not know any of this? You could have just like asked the XQC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my perspective overall, okay, is that gambling is ingrained everywhere, right? And we can break down what is gambling. But gambling is crazy. It's everyone on Twitch, right? And it seemed like all the efforts to go against Gamba felt like they were against the top dogs on the Gamba sections. Once that was done, everybody moved on from all types of gambling. It'd be poker, slots, sporting. It's like everyone went flat and radio silent, which felt disingenuous and felt targeted and was a crusade against individuals and not against the system. And that's how the people felt, in my opinion.
Okay, that's your feeling. I don't know what the individual motivations were from every single person, and I can't speak on it. But my own personal perspective has been pretty open from day one and pretty consistent too.
Okay. So to kind of go back to what let me answer this. So I think what I was asking for was just the consistency of the application of these standards that were only set on me. And this isn't a one-off situation, right? Let's go back to the Gordon Ramsay days, right? I can point out an exact pattern for you yourself.
Love this.
Yeah, I mean, is it not the same thing? I watched Gordon Ramsay.
Wait, I want to know where this comes from. I love this
one. Do you not remember?
Dude, I want to know why you say this all the time, because like I've always been a fucking React Andy, and if I had criticized you for straight up watching an entire episode,
you did. And
if
so
I
did your
then
core
then
community.
well, okay, first of all, my community and who you think my core community, or what you think of me in general, is entirely different.
Motherfuckers, yeah, those cucks.
No. See, this is what you pair up with all the time. Okay. I have to make a note here. I've been a React Andy since day one. I've been a React Andy since day one. That's 100% true, and you know it. I've been watching shows and watching fucking YouTube videos on my stream since day one because I don't play video games.
When I did the Gordon Ramsay stuff,
I always thought it funny that you like said I was on a crusade against you for the Gordon Ramsay shit.
Brother, I was being pushed by you. And listen, I remember this specifically because I found it extremely hypocritical that, because the arguments I was seeing was Train is exploiting the workers at Fox and he's stealing it from them. He should be sued and jailed, right? And then you covered it a couple times. Sure, there was days where you gave me
I said you exploited workers at Fox?
No, this was a narrative within the core community, right?
Wait, whose core community? Not mine.
Right? Reddit's at the time. Yes, yours.
If they were saying that, Train,
yes,
okay.
They were. I remember a time.
Okay, there's no way that people in this community or people said this in my chat, because that would directly target myself as well. So how could they be a fan of mine? I know you're gonna say they're hypocritical and it doesn't matter, but like it literally doesn't make sense.
When it comes to me, this is the whole point of this. This is all I ask.
Train. If you're gonna say that they're on Reddit and that's why they're saying it, you have to understand like there's a difference. Like you have held on to this grudge for a long time, and I've always been very confused. I've always been very confused as to where that came from, and I think I'm gonna need some mediator Felix takes in here, since it's not gamble related, and you can actually be the referee. Train is stating that I have been. Train is stating that I've been like.
Can I state what I'm stating? Like, can I state it, please?
Okay, state it.
Thank you. Listen, in the Gordon Ramsay days, okay, your core community, not everybody, obviously we shared a lot of viewers back then, right? Your core community, the more vocal minority political ones, right? They and yourself, there were days where you kind of dismissed me, like, nah, whatever, right? But there were days you went in on certain Reddit Reddit posts. Back then I was actually viewing Reddit like that, right? Where you were literally, supporting the pushing of the narratives of me doing a terrible thing watching Gordo. And then what happened a year later?
I would love to see that video. If you have a video of it, like I would love to. I would actually love to see that, because that would be shocking to me, especially because since
a lot of things would be shocking. I mean, the CS:GO thing too. CS:GO cases came out for that. Competitive Among Us.
Since day one, first of all, Among Us, CS:GO, these are things that I did not talk about you in any way.
CS:GO cases. There was a time where I was opening every day for like a year and a half. Every day I did $2,000 worth of CS:GO cases, and the same arguments for gambling were pushed then, right? Yet everyone was opening them. Yet
okay, but you have to say how I have contributed to this. You can't constantly say your community on Reddit were pushing for this.
You were part of the groups that were pushing for this thing. So were you standing up and not saying a word about it?
That's wild. I can't. I like you're. That's insane. I'm sorry. Okay. Like that's crazy.
We'll agree to disagree there. I mean,
I've never done that. I don't know why you're saying I'm doing it, and like communities that I'm a part of are doing it. Like you gotta give me. You gotta give me something. You gotta give me something.
Okay, let me give you this. Then let me give you this. Why do you think it was so shocking for everyone when you and Pokey and the others began to watch Gordon Ramsay a year later? Why do you think there was drama around that? There wouldn't be drama if there wouldn't be an issue.
There's drama around me when I buy a fucking shirt. There's people in this. There's people in XQC chat right now that are fucking still bringing that shit up, or buying a house. There's drama around everything I do.
No, there's drama around the hypocrisy, around the heat that I got, and you guys watching it. I wouldn't be brought up if you guys watched it a year later and you got hate for it. Do you understand? I was brought up.
There's drama around me watching or Pokey watching a show because people love shitting on streamers. No, you should know this. You're a streamer. People shit on you all the time, sometimes unjustifiably.
No shot. Brother, there was drama specifically between, like, I was being brought up in that. Everyone knew it. I remember the years when I was getting heat, and then you guys decided to watch it on stream a year later. It blew everyone's minds. People that didn't even watch it.
I was watching 90 Day Fiance when you were watching Gordon Ramsay. So I don't know why you're saying this. Like it literally is something that I've been it's literally been something that I'm not only an advocate for. I am such a firm believer in not giving a shit about IP.
Started on my second round of Gordon Ramsay. The hate I'm referring to was the first round of Gordon Ramsay. I created the. You
once again, I have to reference something here. I have been a React streamer from the jump. Okay, a React streamer, literally from the jump. I've always reacted. Not only that, but I also do not believe in IP personally, so much so that I've allowed everyone to literally do whatever the fuck they want with my IP. That's why there's like 1,000 different fucking HasanAbi fan channels out there, some of which have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, some of which have literally YouTube check marks, and some of them get demonetized by YouTube. YouTube is constantly trying to get me to fucking take their... YouTube is constantly trying to get me to take them down, and I still advocate for them to maintain their monetization. I don't care about IP. If you think that I think that you were exploiting Gordon Ramsay or anyone else, I don't believe that.
I think you have the time frames messed up, right? The time I'm referring to of when I was watching Gordo, you were not reacting yet. You understand? You were not, the first year of your streaming, you were not reacting. That was the year that the Gordon Ramsay stuff started. You understand? It was before you started your reacting phase. You understand me? It was during that time. This idea that you were reacting side by side with me is not the truth. When I watched Gordon Ramsay,
it is the truth. I don't think you were watching me, but it's fine. Felix, you pulled something up there. What was that? Was that like one guy in my chat or something?
Bro, I'm trying to find it as hard as I can. I mean, listen, I'm trying to support both sides. I'm looking for clips of both sides. All I see is a clip of Train, and he's molding in this clip. about the fact that you called him out for the Gordon Ramsay days, and it seemed like it was maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, but is there any clip in there of him reacting to me saying something about Train directly reacting? Because I doubt it. I've been a reactor from the jump.
I think overall people were very much against the stealing of shows in their entirety.
I've never been against that. I'm so pro that. I do it all the time. I got fake DMCA'd and people fucking loved it, if you recall.
Yeah, I'm looking for clips of both right now, but listen, all I see is Train molding about a certain clip or thread that happened in the past. I guess I still can't find the clip.
Okay, but if you can't find the proof, are you willing? If you want to make amends, if you want to make amends, Train. If you can't find the proof, are you willing to let go of this whole Pokey and Hasan are here? You want to link that to me? That would be great. But if you're willing to make amends here, would you be willing to drop that I've been an advocate against you from day one for reacting? Because I have been a reactor myself. I don't know.
The reacting, yes, you have been a reactor yourself, but not during the time that I was watching Gordon Ramsay, the initial period.
Okay, but you got to find something. Because I legitimately don't know what you're talking about when you say this all the time. And you have. It
was during the period that you were playing Fortnite, Call of Duty, and doing some political content. It was during that time. It was before the reaction
when I was playing Fortnite off of a fucking GoPro camera on my PlayStation. Which is how I started, off of a PlayStation Eye camera. I still would react to shit. You want to know how? I would literally put up the congressional testimony from Mark Zuckerberg.
Political stuff. We're not talking. Yeah. We're talking about the watching of shows. We're not referring to political reacting. We're talking about watching of shows. Listen. The point of this conversation is to shed light why both of us feel as if we have been jabbing each other, right? I'm just showing that.
No, but I don't even know where it comes from. I don't know where you're coming from with respect to this. So if you have proof, and if you find here's the thing.
Yeah,
okay. I'm willing to apologize. If I have said something that you truly were genuinely upset about, and it's not just some guy on Reddit or whatever the fuck. If you find something and you show me, I will literally apologize to you, because I don't think I ever did that. You have been saying this for so long though that it's basically it basically became permanent in your mind, and also in the minds of many people in your community and in other communities as well. So I'm telling you, if there is a moment where I have shit on you, if I've said oh dude, fuck that guy Train, reacting to fucking videos is all he does, I hate that, or whatever the fuck, I will genuinely apologize to you. But I don't think there is a clip.
Hey guys, I've dug in a bunch of clips, a bunch of stuff. Okay. I think we kind of have to let this go because, one, I think that the comments that Hasan made, I think the stuff that you were saying it, were a little bit subjectively, a little bit like slide.
Wait, what comments did I make? What comments did I make? No. But like, it's important. This is important because this is something that he's been saying for.
Okay, I'll find one.
This is something that Train has been saying for a while. Okay,
so
this is something that he's been saying for a while. The only thing I was able to find is him actually shitting on you, XQC, for the live streams haters about the Gordon Ramsay thing from 4 years ago. Here, I found the clip.
Well, I think Trump's a dumb fuck. I don't
TOS and
me because I should.
That's what the argument was. That I'm DMCA.
So it's not even about me. I think Train thinks like you were the one who fucking yelled at him or whatever the fuck, and then he like thinks it's me.
And I'm TOS.
I remember it was you.
Okay.
It was you and others.
Do you remember it was me, or do you want it to be me because it's a more appropriate person to yell at?
Look, this tweet right here.
I'm not yelling at you. I don't
Gordon
want
Ramsay
it
says,
to be you.
"Hey, Twitch, can I get
It was you.
on what you are, right?" Because Gordon Ramsay was like, I guess, mauling the people reacting to his content, and you reply, Hasan, he says, "It's a platform where we watch you every day." I think it's fair to assume you're referencing Train spamming Gordon Ramsay content in a sly way. Right?
Wait, what? I was watching Gordon Ramsay at that point, Felix.
That was way after, Felix. I was
watching him. I was watching him.
In like 2017.
Yo, chill.
But like, this is important. This is important to me now because I hate that like it's
I
minor things like this get misconstrued in the minds of a lot of people, and then they go, "Oh, Hasan is a fucking hypocrite."
So
that was me. I was watching him at the time.
Let's say I was a dumb chatter. Then you rolled me. That's a good thing.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People don't give a fuck about that. They operate off of vibes. Anyway, the only clip I found was 4 years ago. Train responding to live stream fails haters about XQC watching Gordon Ramsay. I linked it in the Discord if you want to watch it.
4 years ago. 4 years ago was 2019, correct? This would be 2017, 2018.
2020.
Okay, but like you gotta bring something here because I am telling you honestly.
I'm bringing my memory.
God.
That's what I'm bringing.
No, you can't do
that.
You
expected me to have clips from 6 years ago on hand and ready.
I said this on stream. If I've said this on stream, you should be able to like literally. You've been talking about it since. Wait, did you say 2017?
I said like end of 2017, 2018. It was when I was still living with Mitch.
Dog, I literally started streaming like consistently in the second half of 2018. I started my first day streaming was 2018, I think March. I did not know who you were back then. I had no idea who you were.
That's what I'm saying. So when I started,
why would I have talked about you? I don't know who you are. I didn't know anything about Twitch.
The Gordon Ramsay went on from I started the reacting stuff like 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, all the way through to 2019, right? And that's when you and other streamers pushed on to the hate because I was getting a lot of attention. I was watching Gordon Ramsay. I was one of the, I was up to 23,000 viewers at the time compared to now.
The main LSF clip that you're referencing, I think you got your days fucked up, and maybe it's not your fault. But the main LSF clip that you're referencing is from, I guess, 3 years ago, maybe. I'm not entirely certain. Our articles were written on it in 2019. TrainwrecksTV streams MasterChef on Twitch for 3 hours without being punished.
Okay, then it's 2018, 2019.
Okay, that's what I started streaming in 2018. Now, I got
a lot. 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, all the way through to 2019, right? And that's when you and other streamers pushed on to the hate because I was getting a lot of attention. I was watching Gordon Ramsay. I was one of the, I was up to 23,000 viewers at the time compared to now.
The main LSF clip that you're referencing, I think you got your days fucked up, and maybe it's not your fault. But the main LSF clip that you're referencing is from, I guess, 3 years ago, maybe. I'm not entirely certain. Our articles were written on it in 2019. TrainwrecksTV streams MasterChef on Twitch for 3 hours without being punished.
Okay, then it's 2018, 2019.
Okay, that's what I started streaming in 2018. I did not become a full-time streamer until 2020. I was on your shows on the Scuff podcast and found out about you, I think, at some point in 2019.
Yes.
So if you're saying that this is when I actually fucking shit on you, okay, I think you're wrong because by that point I had switched over.
It was before you were reacting to.
I also not only that, but I also have apparently in 2021 recognized you as the OG MasterChef. Andy has spoken.
Yes, I saw that. That was after that was around the time you started watching yourself.
So you have no evidence for your statements. I have proven that not only have I supported you for being the OG MasterChef React Andy, giving you
you
giving you your
me after the years of shit. When
but you have no evidence as to me doing this, and I'm literally telling you.
Evidence. Listen, I don't need to have
course
evidence.
You do.
I know I do not.
Of course, you need to have evidence.
Brother, I'm telling you what I went through during those times when I was watching it. This is what happened. Do you understand that? That's what I'm telling you. This is what happened. You sat there and you pushed forward the hate. You let it happen. You reacted to it. You didn't say anything of it, and then you started watching it yourself.
Hold on. Hold on. That's a lot of things you just said. Did I let it happen? Did I not defend your honor? Or did I directly attack you? Did people in my community say that? Because what you need to understand here is you just lumped up a bunch of different things in here, and I don't think you have evidence for any of these things.
Now.
I don't know. This is profoundly important, I think.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think again, it might have been a combination of small things or not a big thing.
Bro, at this point, I feel like I'm arguing against your demons. Like that's wild.
We can't. Hey, don't say that. We cannot. Okay, personal insults. Chill. I don't think. Okay, listen. We're not.
No, I wasn't even being insulting. I'm saying like it's a fabrication. Like what am I supposed to do?
It's not a fabric, brother. Listen. If this was
and defend your honor, or did I directly attack you? Did people in my community say that? Because what you need to understand here is you just lumped up a bunch of different things in here and I was watching him. I was watching him.
In like 2017.
Yo, chill.
But like this is important. You truly were like genuinely upset about it. And it's not just like some guy on Reddit or whatever the fuck. If you find something and you show me, like I will literally apologize to you because I don't think I ever did that. You have been saying this for so long though that it's basically like it basically became permanent in your mind and also in the minds of many people in your community and in other communities as well. So I'm telling you, if there is a moment where I have like shit on you, if I've said like, oh dude, fuck that guy Train, like reacting to fucking videos is all he does, like I hate that or whatever the fuck, I will genuinely apologize to you, but I don't think there is a clip.
Hey, guys, I've dug in a bunch of clips, a bunch of stuff. Okay. I think we kind of have to let this go because one, I think that the comments that Hasan made, I think the stuff that you were saying were a little bit subjectively, a little bit like slide.
Wait, what comments did I make? What comments did I make? No. But like, it's important. This is important because this is something that he's been saying for. Okay, this is something that Train has been saying for a while. Okay, this is something that he's been saying for a while. The only thing I was able to find is him actually shitting on you, XQC, for the live streams haters about the Gordon Ramsay thing from 4 years ago. Here, I found the clip.
Well, I think Trump's a dumb fuck. I don't TOS and me because I should.
That's what the argument was. That I'm
so it's not even about me. I think Train thinks like you were the one who fucking yelled at him or whatever the fuck, and then he like thinks it's me.
And I'm TOS. I remember it was you. Okay. It was you and others.
Do you remember it was me, or do you want it to be me because it's a more appropriate person to yell at?
Look, this tweet right here.
I'm not yelling at you. I don't want it to be you.
Hey, Twitch, can I get on what you are, right? Because Gordon Ramsay was like, I guess, mauling the people reacting to his content. And you reply, Hasan, he says, it's a platform where we watch you every day. I think it's fair to assume you're referencing Train spamming Gordon Ramsay content in a sly way. Right?
Wait, what? I was watching Gordon Ramsay at that point, Felix.
That was way after, Felix. I was
watching him. I was watching him.
In like 2017.
Yo, chill.
But like this is important. This is important to me now because I hate that like it's minor things like this get misconstrued in the minds of a lot of people, and then they go, "Oh, Hasan is a fucking hypocrite." So that was me. I was watching him at the time.
Let's say I was a dumb chatter. Then you rolled me. That's a good thing.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People don't give a fuck about that. They operate off of vibes. Anyway, the only clip I found was 4 years ago. Train responding to live stream fails haters about XQC watching Gordon Ramsay. I linked it in the Discord if you want to watch it.
4 years ago. 4 years ago was 2019, correct? This would be 2017, 2018.
2020.
Okay, but like you gotta bring something here because I am telling you honestly.
I'm bringing my memory.
God.
That's what I'm bringing.
No, you can't do that,
man. You expect me to have clips from 6 years ago on hand and ready.
I said this on stream. If I've said this on stream, you should be able to, like, literally, you've been talking about it since Wait, did you say 2017?
I said like end of 2017, 2018. It was when I was still living with Mitch.
Dog,
That's when
I
watched...
literally started streaming like consistently in the second half of 2018. I started my first day streaming was 2018, I think March. I did not know who you were back then. I had no idea who you were.
That's what I'm saying. So when I started,
why would I have talked about you? I don't know who you are. I didn't know anything about Twitch.
The Gordon Ramsay went on from right. I started the reacting stuff like 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, all the way through to 2019, right? And that's when you and other streamers pushed on to the hate because I was getting a lot of attention. I was watching Gordon Ramsay. I was one of the, I was up to 20, 22, 23,000 viewers at the time compared to now.
The main LSF clip that you're referencing, I think you got your days fucked up, and maybe it's not your fault. But the main LSF clip that you're referencing is from, I guess, 3 years ago, maybe. I'm not entirely certain. Our articles were written on it in 2019. TrainwrecksTV streams MasterChef on Twitch for 3 hours without being punished.
Okay, then it's 2018, 2019.
Okay,
that's what
I started streaming in 2018. I did not become a full-time streamer until 2020. I was on your shows on the Scuff podcast and found out about you, I think, in at some point in 2019.
Yes.
So if you're saying that this is when I actually fucking shit on you, okay, I think you're wrong because by that point I had switched over.
It was before you were reacting to.
I also not only that, but I also have apparently in 2021 recognized you as the OG MasterChef. Andy has spoken.
Yes, I saw that. That was after that was around the time you started watching yourself.
So you have no evidence for your statements. I have proven that not only have I supported you for being the OG MasterChef React Andy, giving you giving you your.
After the years of shit,
when you have no evidence as to me doing this, and I'm literally telling you.
Evidence. Listen, I don't need to have evidence.
You do.
I know I do not.
Of course, you need to have evidence.
Brother, I'm telling you what I went through during those times when I was watching it. This is what happened. Do you understand that? That's what I'm telling you. This is what happened. You sat there and you pushed toward the hate. You let it happen. You reacted to it. You didn't say anything of it, and then you started watching it yourself.
Hold on. That's a lot of things you just said. Did I let it happen? Did I not defend your honor, or did I directly attack you? Did people in my community say that? Because what you need to understand here is you just lumped up a bunch of different things in here, and I don't think you have evidence for any of these
semantics
things.
Now.
I don't know. This is profoundly important. I think.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think again. It might have been a combination of small things or not a big thing.
Bro, at this point, I feel like I'm arguing against your demons. Like that's wild.
We can't. Hey, don't say that. We cannot. Okay, personal insults. Chill. I don't think. Okay, listen. We're not even.
No, I wasn't even being insulting. I'm saying like it's a fabrication. Like what am I supposed to do?
It's not a fabric, brother. Listen. If this was only me saying this and others were like, and everyone was saying, "Nah, you're."
Who else is saying it?
Listen, when you started watching it, do you not remember the hate that was pushed toward everyone, specifically regarding the hate that I got from you guys, versus you guys now watching it? There was so many streamers who commented on it. No. You understand? Like, okay then. Let's move on. We'll agree to disagree.
No, I'm not kidding. I don't think a single person came to me and said that.
It might have been small things, big things. Well, now we can't find it. We have to move on. This is how it is. Okay. If that's how you felt.
Okay. I guess we're moving on from this. But hold on. Look. If we're making amends, can you say that you might be misremembering certain things, or
no?
Because if you have something and you show it to me, I will genuinely apologize to you. Do you understand? Because in that moment, I would be in the wrong. I would be hypocritical. If you want to make amends, this is how you're supposed to make amends. If you have an instance, if you have a video, because I was streaming at the time, I've been streaming, you've been talking about this for years and years. If you think that this is the original culminating like divide between your community and my community, between you and I, if that's what you think is a really important enough thing, right? You should. If you bring it up to me, I will apologize to you.
Guys, wait. No, let me respond. Go ahead. It's not so much an important thing to me. It's more so a showing of pattern. That's why I brought it up, right? It's a showing of pattern that whenever I do something,
but you can't show a pattern without any evidence whatsoever. Especially when I'm saying like I would literally apologize to you if it's actually a thing that I did, because right now it seems like you're placing a lot of blame on me for comments that you got on Reddit from God knows whoever the fuck. And let's be real, if there's one enemy of Reddit that is maybe sometimes a bigger enemy than you, but not often, but sometimes a bigger enemy than you, it's me. So I don't think people on Reddit like me. The only time they like me is when you went so far overboard with like Hasan is a fucking piece of shit that they were like, all right, maybe we're going a little too harsh on this guy. That is the last time that Reddit actually defended me, and probably the first time, and we'll never do it again.
Yeah. Listen,
I sent my bot, I sent my people, okay, to look for clips and stuff like that, okay. Once we go back to this later on, okay, whether they found or not, I guess they take the proper measure. Right now, when we have no evidence, we cannot make a call. I can't make one of these apologize or moderate in a nice way. We have nothing on hand. We have to want to change topic, otherwise we will not get anywhere.
Okay. No. It's good. It's good. I just want to make sure though that like, you know, people understand that I want Train to understand first and foremost that like this is not something that I believe. This is not something that I think I ever said about you. But this is something that truly, I guess it hurt your feelings. So I want to make sure that you understand that that is not my position at all. And
it's not that it hurt.
It's not that it hurt
my feelings, Hassan. It's not that it hurt my feelings. It's just a showing of pattern. Like every single time I do something, the streamers, they come together and they push for my cancellation. They push for Train is evil.
I don't know, dude. Come on, Train.
Come on. No, that's a come on back to you. That's a come on back to you.
No,
come on,
what do you
bro.
mean come on back to me? Is this going to be like mostly because the way I see it? I'll be brutally honest. The way I see it is like I have actively tried to avoid conflict because I don't want to get the. I'll be honest. You have a sizable community. You've been a fucking big dog in the scene for a very long time. I've actively tried to avoid conflict with you because I don't want people to like constantly fucking come into my chat and like bring me into drama. Okay. I am not like, I know everybody loves saying like Hasan loves inserting himself in the drama or whatever, but usually until something is like newsworthy or something goes too far, I don't usually talk about shit. Okay. I don't care about it enough. This is the 20th anniversary of America's unjustifiable invasion of Iraq. That's what I was talking about all day for the most part. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm covering usually when I'm not doing like dumb reacts or whatever. So for me in particular, if you are saying like, oh, all these streamers are getting together, all these streamers are actually fucking yelling, all these things about me, and you add me onto that without any sort of like serious evidence to back it up, then I'm only arguing against your own personal perspective and your own personal assessment of a situation that may or may not be real.
Okay, so you're gaslighting me now. That's what you're saying.
We had this conversation apparently on Twitter as well. It's not even you that I'm upset at. It's your core community that brigaded all the Gordon hate threads and now sit there with no fucking shame enjoying their time.
Yeah.
I hate motherfuckers like that. All of them should be ashamed. I said, listen, I at least admit you were first. Also, I've been a React Andy before it was the meta. And I said, why would my community of React enjoyers brigade others reacting, lol? And you said, don't play stupid. Leave that to the ASMR streamers. I said, you are wrong on this 100%. Ironic, that's what the hate thread said then too. And that's it. That's where like the conversation ended. But like
I'm forcing to move on, guys. I swear, and we'll go back to this chat, guys, with actual proof of something. Okay. Listen. Another topic I saw the other day. See, this is what I mean by the subtweeting it, which causes I think a lot of harm in both your communities. Okay, it's Hasan on Train undermining his Turkey earthquake fundraiser and calls him out for promoting crypto gambling. Why did this happen? Why did it start? And why did it start?
I think Hasan focused on a part of a clip that wasn't even my intention.
Wait, someone in your community found something.
I full time.
In my community?
Yeah, it's quite easy. Just do a few squatties here and there.
In my community?
Job, mate.
I mean,
in your subreddit.
Yeah, instead you should take a book out of Greek's page here and just watch YouTube videos all day and go.
Hey.
I'm gonna take a piss while you guys review that. I can hear you guys. I have wireless headphones.
Wait, what the fuck? Literally me shitting on Greek, and then wait, what? They're saying this is shameless fuckingness. Is on caught in 4K on Scuff? Wait, they took a,
don't even watch that.
Okay, they took a meme. They took a meme of me like shitting on Greek as a joke, like literally me making a joke on the Scuff podcast. Took it seriously and thought that was hypocrisy. I don't even know if that's actually the case.
Listen,
but
whether just that or not, I think he probably.
I have so much, bro. I have so much fucking evidence as to why, like, I have been so consistently against fucking
at this point,
people losing their shit over reacting.
Well, I do agree, right? That until we find evidence of you doing shit, I don't
Yeah, but there's
think anything
evidence
is
to the
important.
contrary and no evidence on the other side. So
Fair
at a
enough.
certain point, we have to. There's an overwhelming amount of evidence from my end showing that I've like been an advocate for reacting to shit, saying that all content is derivative. Like, why is this even a point of contention at this point? At a certain point, you got to be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I was wrong on this. That's all I'm expecting. That's all I want. That's how you know amends are made, right?
Yeah, for sure. Then let's not jump the gun and make sure we come back to this in like a couple minutes, right? That we have all the information that we need. Otherwise, we have to fix a problem and fix a new problem for no reason. Okay.
Okay.
I do agree that evidence to the contrary seems a little bit heavier, right? Unless we find something.
I disagree.
Well, I couldn't find anything. So I think you have a lot of points on a lot of topics, and Hasan has a lot of points on a lot of topics. I think
Wait, what are the points? What are the points that he brought up? He didn't what?
I said on other topics. I said on other topics.
It feels like. Listen, here's the issue. Okay. Sorry, I had to do a little juice up. It feels as if the goalpost keeps moving on regards to how much control we have over our communities and what we preach and what we let them spew. Right. At the end of the day, let's even go back to that tweet, right, where I said my issue isn't so much with you, it's with your community, right? When you let communities spew shit and you do nothing, in my opinion, that's a passive siding, right? It's a passive siding. You understand? And then you do it yourself, and there's all support within that.
Wait,
like,
so you're so now you're saying originally you said I was like championing and spearheading the cause of like you being a React Andy.
Yes, I'm still.
Now you're saying I wasn't defending you for when people were shitting on you for being a React Andy.
No. Combine the two together. I still stand by the original. I'm giving you another example to what you've shown. So since I cannot show the first one, although I do remember it very clearly.
Train in 2019, I think I had a concurrent viewership of 35 viewers. I don't think you were talking about me. Let's be fucking real. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was barely fucking hitting.
It was during the times where you were picking up traction. It was during those times.
Ryan, I sent
and
my
you think I wasn't
people to find
defending you
clips.
as like a fucking 300 viewer Andy or something? Max out at 300 if that's
No.
the case.
It was while you were still larger. It was. Listen,
what year? What year are you talking about?
Brother, we have to dive into the years. It was the year that I was watching Gordon
Brother,
Ramsay.
we need to use actual facts in this.
It was the original. Brother, but listen, you're trying to debunk something by these specific facts that, in my opinion, are. Listen, it's the year I was watching Gordon.
But that's how this works.
It was the year I was watching Gordon Ramsay. It was the year that I was watching Gordon Ramsay and no one else was.
I can't address something that you claim I did if we don't like look at the time frame and develop a better understanding of what happened in that moment. I'm trying to literally, like right now, it feels like I'm just trying to defend myself against your own personal feelings in the matter, which is why I'm trying to be like, well, look, let's look.
I figured it out. Okay, I sent my best bots to find every piece of evidence. Okay. And the bot even they admitted to me.
Wait, fuck. I'm missing. You're getting.
They admitted 100%. Okay. That unfortunately on this issue, there's no supporting evidence of the train's point and a little bit of supporting of Hasan's counterpoints. That he's a little bit, brother. Saying, yo, guys, I'm kind of a React Andy it's not a big stance, okay?
Well, that's not what I showed. I showed you consistently a long, verifiable, documented history of like being an advocate for abolishing IP, showing you consistently that I have abolished my own IP restrictions in my own community with the own content that I personally create, shown you that like other people have criticized me for reacting to shit, showed you that I even got DMCA'd with a false DMCA claim for reacting to Gordon Ramsay, showed you a Twitter thread where I actually defended Trainwrecks being the original MasterChef React Andy.
That was years after. That was the year you guys began watching it. You understand?
So
okay.
I haven't switching you guys.
Let's agree to disagree and we can move on.
Wait, what? No,
you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm trying to.
Why can I not do that? So if I remember an account but there's no clip, I have to, it cannot be true. That's what you're saying.
Well, but
I'm saying it from his perspective, if he doesn't remember it that way, you can't show it to him. He can't take your points for granted and give you an apology.
And there's also evidence. There's also evidence to the contrary where I'm defending him. I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit.
I'm losing my mind because listen, logically speaking, there wouldn't be an outcry when you and Pokey began watching Master Chef. There wouldn't be an outcry compared to the year
I don't even know what you're talking about. The outcry that I got for watching Master Chef wasn't because of some perceived hypocrisy that you cooked up in your community. The outcry that I got was the same exact outcry.
There were streamers that commented on it as well. I
don't know who those streamers are, but if you could show them to me, I would love to also address that as well. But the only person that you have openly criticized was XQC calling you out for watching Gordon Ramsay or something, or Master Chef.
Well, I think
never myself at the time, possibly because I had never actually talked shit about that. Okay. And not only that, but also there's evidence of me reacting to TV shows all the way back in 2019 as well, for the record, if anyone cares about that.
Yeah. Okay. I think sometimes we get caught up. Okay. Based on if we think somebody's against us or not, then if they make a whatever comment, things might feel a certain way or another. That's just kind of how it is. Okay? I called out Train, calling out. I don't think I've ever called out anybody for anything. Okay, or not a lot. But it just feels like I banter with people. I'm a massive React Andy. I'll call people React Andys. Is that a problem? Not really. Okay. I think this point we have to move on. We will stay here stuck forever. Okay. Listen. The main point.
But I do want to make sure that like we're making amends, right? I'm sorry for cutting you off. We're making amends, right? You said that. So one part of doing that is to be like
of a pattern of behavior. Yes.
Okay. If we can't find evidence of that, okay, unfortunately, for the sake of this argument, I said unfortunately because it's for the sake of this argument and your perspective, we can't fulfill that, and we can't make anybody do anything.
Well, let's move on to the next. Yes.
Okay.
This conversation isn't preventing us from being friends or preventing us from putting away the past.
I personally don't care about it. I personally don't care about it, but only because like it's been so consistent over the course of like many years at this point that like I just kind of avoid it. Like I don't really talk about it. I don't really like to think about it, and it is festered on Reddit. It's festered on Twitch, where like a lot of people do have this false notion. Where I guess maybe some of them think that I'm like a hypocritical person for shitting on you for reacting while reacting myself, even though it very clearly is not real. So